So shadow work is a buzzword that's been making its way through the spiritual community. And maybe I hope that you have at one point thought to yourself, well, what the fuck is shadow work anyway? So let's examine that with a bit of an example. Let's suppose that you were just offended that I said the word fuck. Okay? Whenever we're offended, hurt, or made uncomfortable in our lives, we have this tendency to project our perspective outward and to pass judgment on the offender or the place, or to place blame on like the things that cause us pain, right? We'll even go as far as to ask other people to behave in ways that don't offend us or don't hurt us, and even believe that people should adjust their behavior so that we don't get hurt or offended. But what's interesting is we only take this view when it's somebody who is projecting or causing a negative reaction in us, right? We're not so good at projecting on other people when we feel gratitude or a positive emotion. We don't usually blame people for our happiness, right? So it's simpler to blame people for our negative feelings than it is to process through them. So shadow work is the process by which we take our discomfort, including acknowledging the things that we don't love about ourselves or accept about ourselves, and look inward, sitting with our own discomfort, asking why we're uncomfortable. That's harder than blaming others for the way that we feel and react. So let's pretend that you really are offended by me swearing. Even if you're not, just go with it for now. Instead of blaming me and expecting me to adjust my behavior, ask yourself why you're offended. What framework, teaching, or societal structure have you adopted as truth that makes you feel this way? Does this framework, teaching, or societal structure actually offer your life benefit? Why have you accepted it as truth? Is it possible that you are wrong? For example, maybe you believe that swearing is a sign of lower intelligence. That's an excuse that I used to hear a lot when I was younger, right? And so you use that framework to support your version of truth that swearing is bad. And then you say, because swearing is bad, all that swear are bad, right? But is it true that swearing is really a sign of lower intelligence? Have you done the research? Or did you just accept something that fit into your chosen perspective? So in our example, we judge a particular word as bad, right? So to take these lines of questions even a little further, as we go a little deeper into this work, why would you judge somebody else as bad because they use a bad word? What justification do you have for that judgment? And asking these sorts of questions, instead of projecting your framework, teaching, or societal structure onto somebody else, that's the definition of shadow work. Now, as you get through this, in the end, you may still very well believe that swearing is bad, but at least you'll have a deeper understanding of the framework, teaching, or societal structure that frame your perspective. So we all have false beliefs that hold us back that we need to examine. And so this work is something that is consistent and ongoing, and something that everybody has to do. So maybe your false belief is something like you need to lose 10 pounds before you're attractive enough to date. Or maybe that you need a certain kind of education or training to get closer to your dream job, right? These things that we tell ourselves may not necessarily be true, but yet we choose to believe them and frame our entire existence around this truth that we can usually disassemble as long as we are willing to actually go in and ask the questions. So this type of introspection is not new. It's been called the dark night of the soul. It's been called a midlife crisis even, right? Anytime you find yourself examining your beliefs, and the things that you accept as truth, especially when that comes to negative beliefs that we have about ourselves, then that is shadow work.